Hey, it's Josh again, having literally just finished the first volume of the recently released, in English at least, Gankutsuou, the Count of Monte Cristo manga. I am just kind of taking it in at the moment, but I will try to do my best on it. It is, in short, the story is an adaptation of Alexandre Dumas's classic The Count of Monte Cristo story. Kind of a loose interpretation, but in my opinion, actually for the better. It gives it a sci-fi stint in all obviousness, as well as many other things. But the basic story boils down to a man who was betrayed long ago comes back from his past to avenge his destroyed life on the three men who ruined him, as well as their families and everyone they know. Now, it's a gripping mystery, and you know what? Actually, this is a story that works if you don't know it, and it works if you do know it, too. I mean, in the way that if you don't know it, it's a mystery and you're wondering, oh, what the hell's going on? And if you do know it, like I do when going into it, it really gives a sense of ominous presence to it, like an impending dread. You know what's going to happen. You're just waiting to see. And this is a fantastic, it takes tons of turns, fantastic story. I cannot stress how great this series is at all. Being based on the Alexandre Dumas story, it takes a lot of elements from it, and this is a good thing because although it does copy some things, it does have a lot of originality on its own, and it does a lot of neat twists by itself. The addition of Gankutsuou to the story, which is, well, I won't spoil it, something that is possessing Edmond Dantes, or is at least, he is host to Gankutsuou, is fueling his revenge, and that's actually a mystery, even if you know the original story is going to be quite the surprise. Perhaps not fully revealed, but even still. Regardless, at the end of every chapter, as much like the TV show would have, there's a twist. There is a cliffhanger. You know, it's like, oh, what's going to happen next? And you quickly go to the next page. It's an extremely fast read. It's a little thicker than most manga, but I finished it in 30 minutes. I'm not a fast reader. The art was quite delicious, if I do say so myself. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Next to the characters. The characters in the story are the same in this. The main characters revolve entirely around Albert Morcerf and Franz Depenay, two best friends living in French Parisian society in the future, as well as the titular Count of Monte Cristo himself, Edmond Dantes. And don't worry, that's really no spoiler. You find that out in the first volume of the manga. Anyway, the characters are pretty well defined, despite this being a short book and only one volume, and it's going through the story quite fast. I will say, I was actually impressed, even though there's many side characters in this series, in this story. They didn't really go into them, but at the same time, they gave you a feel for who they were. Like, for instance, they had more governmental involvement, where Fernand de Morcerf, Albert's father, you really got kind of like the political views from him in a couple pages, and even though Pippo, you kind of got like the whole confrontation between him and Albert, and that's an interesting panel. But as well, you really got a feel for the Count himself. In the TV series, you didn't feel this as much. Well, you did because of the length, but in this one, the artwork in it and the sheer imprisonment of Dantes, of the Count, is incredibly painful. You can feel it because it drags on for pages, and it's really good in this manner in that it's very pitch black. You really don't see a whole lot, and you just keep repeating the same thing, like, free me, I have not done anything. And it's really powerful. And it especially makes the emergence of Gankutsuou all the more of a mystery, because you don't know what in the world's going on. And especially by the end of this book, you really are on a cliffhanger. Even if you've seen the series, you're like, I want to see what happens next. Again, you're reliving the story. It's a powerful story, and to relive it again and have it enjoyed as much, I think is a real compliment to the way the designers made it. There's a lot for everyone to enjoy here. If you're particularly fond of art in manga, which of course you probably are because you're reading it, this is good art. This is not extremely detailed art. At the same time, it's very... I'm going to say busy, but I don't mean that in a negative sense. I mean busy in that it's like cluttered in a metropolitan way. You really feel as if it's a crowd. You really feel people's expressions because it's almost like a European style of drawing, if you will. It focuses a lot on the faces. At the same time, if you enjoyed the mind-bending clothing of the TV series and its odd photoshopped nature, you will likely love this manga as well, because the Count's cloak is just as trippy as it was in the series. The particular panel where he walks by Albert on Luna is incredibly crazy, and there was an immense amount of things going on in the panel. I don't know how long that took to draw, but it is quite a masterwork of art. Maybe a little overstatement, but that is still a very good piece of art. You will not be disappointed with the art. Characters, like I said, a little sparsely drawn, but the environments are actually surprisingly well drawn. I think that's actually key with this series. It being about Parisian high society, you really need to feel the richness, to feel the contempt that the Count has for these people, and what he could have had. Anyway, this is such a great series. In conclusion, I just want to say that if you've seen the series or not, either way, check this out. You might want to check out the series first, because this does gloss over a few things. It does go a little fast. But regardless, whichever one you want to check out, this is a great series. It's got a great story. Characters are very, very well defined. Less so in the manga, but there is some more interesting tidbits in the manga that weren't in the anime. And the art does certainly not disappoint. The only thing is that the first volume is available at the moment. The second one's coming out in March. It's a very loose release schedule, because I believe there was only 3 volumes for this. I'm not sure how they're going to conclude it in another 2 volumes, but I am more than willing to see. I will be first in line to buy this one. This is one of my favorite manga already. I knew it would be, and I definitely recommend this. My highest recommendation.